All right, we appreciate folks joining. I'm going to give some instructions for our webinar today. So hello, welcome to our webinar series. My name is Bernadette Austin. I'm the CEO of CivicWell. We're thrilled to bring this webinar series to you. As you can see from your screen, today we are talking about building back better with efficiency and electrification. And we're joined by two experts today. So you'll be hearing from Jeff Glover. He's a lead AP with 15 years experience helping clients realize energy reduction and sustainability. Jeff brings a different perspective, having resided at the owner's table. He understands the headwinds developers and owners face when balancing budgets and energy efficiencies. He can discuss alternative financing methods, such as CPACE and other tools to blend sustainable goals with positive returns. He's an expert in multifamily residential, mixed use, hospitality, transit, retail, corporate science and technology, industrial, and education. And he's overseen the enrollment of 3,600 projects across 14 states during his time with Willdan. He is also joined by an expert who may be responding to some of the questions. Andriana Dow works for Willdan on the California Energy Design Assistance Program, or CETA, offered across the state of California on behalf of PG&E, Southern California Edison, SoCal Gas, and San Diego Gas and Electric. Her focus as a building performance consultant is to help design teams make important decisions on their project's carbon and energy performance. So we're thrilled to have folks join us. As I indicated, for those of you who joined a little bit later, we welcome you to introduce yourself in the chat. So you can make sure to use the blue dropdown to make sure that you are introducing yourself to everyone. You could also just select hosts and panelists if you prefer that a little bit more privately. All right, so actually I'm going to go ahead and get us started. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Willdan, for presenting this event today. So those of you who are probably very familiar with some of our programs, please use on the bottom of your screen the chat or Q&A functions. As I've indicated, we don't just have one, we have two knowledgeable guests today who will be responding to your questions throughout. At the end of the presentation, we will have an opportunity for questions and answers, and we welcome your questions at that time. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation. And I'll give my colleague Jeff an opportunity to introduce himself.
Perfect. Thank you, Bernadette. It's a pleasure to be on the phone with you today and really talking about a topic that's very important to all of us at Willdan and those Willdan colleagues who are on the phone with me today. This is something we're very passionate about, and I see the screen is up. And for those of you, I will be turning off my video as I've been having some issues lately with getting knocked off of the presentation. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So again, my name is Jeff Glover. I work with Willdan on the what's called the California Energy Design Assistance Program, or CETA. CETA is a program that's offered across the entire state of California on behalf of PG&E, SoCal Edison, SoCal Gas, and San Diego Gas and Electric. It's really an extension of those utilities, and credit to those utilities for creating such a robust and powerful program that's available to everybody who's in the new construction world. So I manage our sales and marketing efforts, not only in the state of California, but in 14 other states where we provide this program we call Energy Design Assistance. And again, as mentioned previously, I do have Andriana Dow on the phone as well. And hopefully, if you have any technical questions at the end of this presentation, she'll be able to answer some of those more technical questions. So again, real quick plug on CETA, or California Energy Design Assistance. It's the only statewide utility program offering up complimentary. It's no cost to you. So it's complimentary decarbonization consulting. In addition to the consulting you receive, the program provides incentives to help try to maximize that new construction or major renovation project and its decarbonization potential. Our goal, we try to promote all electric building and promote California's very, very aggressive sustainability targets. Again, this utility, reiterate, it provides incentives to try to help implement some of those energy efficiency measures that may not have at times have been considered. So here's the agenda that we got set forth for today. We'll look at how energy efficiency relates to building back better. Maybe why energy efficiency matters for municipalities or cities. We'll dive into some energy efficiency strategies we consider, and then we're going to take a real life case study was a very successful project that ran through a program called the Piedmont Pools, and then we're going to review our some conclusions and some takeaways. So building back better, basically means making our cities stronger and more sustainable in key ways. First, cleaner, because as we may or may not know, buildings contribute nearly a quarter of California's greenhouse gas emissions. Addressing this is essential to tackling climate change at the city level. Second, more resilient. Upgrading our infrastructure helps communities better withstand some of those extreme weather occurrences and maybe some other challenges. Third, more cost-effective. Efficiency and electrification reduce energy costs for both cities and residents over the long term. Energy efficiency and electrification are foundational strategies that help us to achieve these goals. They not only advance climate objectives, but they also improve. They really help to improve the day-to-day quality and reliability of the community infrastructure. And then, by focusing on these approaches, cities can help lead the way in creating maybe more healthier and more sustainable places to live. So why are we talking about carbon? So on the left, you see that buildings account for about 40% of all the carbon emitted globally. And on the right, we're looking at how that breaks down between embodied carbon in building operations. So 28% is used in the activities supporting the construction of buildings, and 72% is used in the operation of buildings. In this session, we're going to actually focus on the operations portion. So again, why are we focused on buildings with high operating carbon? Well, these buildings will unfortunately slow the transition to clean energy. They're far less adaptable and resilient, causing faster depreciation, decreased profits. They're vulnerable to future policy changes, and they have the a greater potential to become at someday a stranded asset. So cities are starting to face a number of significant challenges as they try to improve energy efficiency and implement new sustainability measures. Budget constraints often limit their ability to invest in those new technologies or upgrade aging infrastructures. Many cities also struggle with capacity issues. There's just simply not enough staff or resources to manage large-scale projects. Aging building stock presents yet another hurdle, as retrofitting older buildings can be complex and costly. And then finally, cities are forced to juggle with competing priorities, trying to balance sustainability with other pressing needs like public safety, transportation, and community services. These barriers can at times slow the progress, but understanding them is kind of that first step towards finding that practical solution. So let's take a look at why does energy efficiency matter for cities? So understanding these challenges helps us to see why energy efficiency is so important for cities, and by improving efficiency, cities can reduce cost, extend the life of their infrastructure, make progress on climate and community goals. So let's try to take a closer look at why why energy efficiency matters, and maybe the benefits that it brings. So this slide highlights how energy efficiency improvements aren't just about saving energy. They translate directly into significant cost savings for a city's budget. So by upgrading the HVAC, lighting, insulation, and other systems in city-owned buildings, we can reduce energy consumption, which lowers utility bills across the board. This means a city is going to spend less money on energy, therefore freeing up budget dollars that might be reinvested in various community projects, projects like parks, public safety, and other vital programs that can improve the residents' quality of life. Importantly, these savings stay within the local economy, supporting further community growth and stability. Again, great example of this that we're going to touch on is the Piedmont Pool project, which this project is expected to achieve approximately 1.8 million in energy cost savings over the life of the project. And again, we're going to dive deeper into that project a little later in the presentation to show how these savings are realized in real life. So this slide here, it focuses on how energy efficiency upgrades improve both indoor air quality and comfort in important city-run spaces such as libraries, recreation centers, maybe senior centers. Upgrading to efficient HVAC systems means better ventilation and filtration, which, as we know, removes pollutants, allergens, and excess humidity. This directly improves the health and comfort of the people using these spaces. Upgraded insulation and air sealing help maintain that consistent indoor temperature by reducing drafts and dampness. This creates a more stable and comfortable environment for visitors year-round. Efficient lighting also plays an important role by generating less heat and reducing that glare, making the spaces safer and more pleasant. So overall, these improvements ensure that vulnerable residents have access to safe, comfortable public spaces throughout the year. This is especially important for reducing health risks related to extreme temperatures or maybe poor outdoor air quality caused by maybe wildfire smoke or pollution. This slide highlights how energy efficiency doesn't just improve buildings. It shows how they are major drivers of the local economic growth by involving local contractors, engineers, and tradespeople. These projects keep money circulating within the community, supporting residents and small businesses. In fact, energy efficiency is a leading source of job growth nationally. In 2023, over 2.3 million workers were employed in that particular sector, with nearly 75,000 new jobs being added. Again, fastest growth of any U.S. energy technology subsector since 2018. Construction jobs related to efficient buildings grew the fastest, highlighting how critical these roles are for reducing energy use and improving our built environment. Workforce training and certifications help ensure that these jobs not only provide career advancement but also lead to those high quality, healthier buildings and infrastructure. This means supporting local energy efficiency projects is a direct way to help foster that sustainable economic development and help to build that skilled workforce for the future. Now, reducing energy consumption directly cuts greenhouse gas emissions, which helps fight the ongoing climate change. At the same time, energy efficiency supports electrification goals by making it easier to power more buildings and vehicles with clean electricity without overloading the grid. Now, this This eases the strain on the electrical system, especially during those peak times, helping it to keep it stable and more reliable. Energy efficiency also makes communities more resilient by improving preparedness for extreme weather events like heat waves or storms, ensuring key public places stay safe and comfortable. Lowering the utility costs through efficiency programs provides real relief to low-income residents who face high energy burdens, supporting, again, climate justice. Lastly, efficiency helps smooth out that, I don't know how many of you have seen it, but it's called the duck curve. It's especially prevalent here in the state of California by balancing, that electricity demand with renewable supply throughout the day, which is essential for providing a fair and reliable access to electricity for everyone. Now, energy efficiency isn't just about cutting utility bills. It brings a wide range of other valuable benefits for cities. Upgrades reduce maintenance costs and extend the equipment lifespans. These improvements often help to increase property values, helping to attract investment and residents to neighborhoods. When public spaces are well maintained and comfortable, it builds on community pride and a stronger sense of place. Efficiency also helps to reduce noise in busy areas, contributing to a more peaceful environment. Better lighting in parks and public areas improves safety, helping to make these spaces a more welcome place for everyone. A great example of this in the city of Los Angeles, their smart street lighting program, they upgraded to smart LED lighting with sensors. The city has enhanced public safety through improved visibility, reduced noise by monitoring environmental conditions, and greatly improved the aesthetics. This just shows how energy efficiency upgrades can positively impact the quality of life just beyond energy saving. So we're moving, from why energy efficiency matters to why cities must kind of act now, if you will. So save your city from future cost burdens and compliance risks by trying to engage today. Policy pressure is starting to mount. California's clean energy policies and building codes are starting to, as we all know, get very tight. Efficiency paired with electrification is it's not optional. It's kind of in the pipeline as the norm. So energy efficiency makes electrification doable by reducing that demand first. Electrification upgrades help to avoid expensive capacity investments and help to ensure that grid stability. So the cost of climate inaction is already enormous. Since 1980, weather and climate disasters have caused over 2.2 trillion in losses nationwide, with about 765 billion in damages recorded from the year 2017 to the year 2021 alone. Now, these events obviously disrupt city infrastructure, building, and services. So energy efficiency measures can help reduce the strain on those critical systems, again, lowering energy costs, but also increasing the resiliency of buildings and public facilities. By acting now to improve efficiency and electrify buildings, cities are going to be able to help better withstand and recover from extreme weather events, protecting both their budgets and their communities. This isn't theoretical. This is, as we know, this is happening now. Acting today is going to help to save money, meets mandates, strengthens resiliency, and positions cities as leaders in that climate innovation. So now let's take a look at some maybe some energy efficiency strategies that we should consider. So some potential decarbonization measures include, building envelope with air sealing, insulation with energy efficiency windows. Maybe additional measures also include heat pumps, both both ground source heat pumps and air source heat pumps, also heat pump water heating. And then, of course, we're seeing a large movement towards all electric kitchen equipment, which is much to my mother's dismay. She loves gas, but it's happening. But how do we know which measures will have the most decarbonization impact? You can actually accomplish this with what's called energy modeling, which again is a free service through our program, the CETA program. We can show you which measures will have the greatest impact on decarbonization, and also show the return on investment for some of those measures. So you'll get that if you participate in the CETA program. It's complimentary. Next, let's look at the building envelope. Some measures that we can improve on are, very common. Insulation, also improve on the air sealing, glazing, and also ensure that the placement of the windows are placed properly for both maximizing cooling and or for shading. As we shift our focus from architectural design to the mechanical aspects of a building system, let's kind of dive into a significant transformation in heating technology. It's the transition, as we've all probably heard in the state of California, that transition from gas heating to heat pumps. And understanding why this shift matters is both crucial for both environmental sustainability and energy efficiency. The shift from gas heating to heat pumps is more than just a trend. It's a crucial step in addressing the never-ending climate change. Heat pumps are a highly efficient system that transfer heat rather than generate it through combustion, which means they use less energy compared to traditional gas heaters. This efficiency translates into both lower energy bills and a significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. Thanks to some pretty cool breakthroughs in heat pump technologies, these systems are really starting to take off and really starting to shine, even in some of those chilly, cold climates where you think they might struggle. So imagine you're considering a heat pump for your building, intrigued by its energy efficiency, environmental benefits, but wary of the challenges, the cost, or again, performance in cold weather, or the electrical usage. Fear not, because there are actually ways to smooth out these bumps in the road. First off, let's talk about cost mitigation. The initial investment, yes, can be a hurdle, but there's a silver lining. Many regions, including programs such as ours, offer incentives and rebates to make heat pumps more affordable. Federal programs and again, local utility rebate programs such as CETA can help to significantly reduce your upfront costs. Another option is financing, which allows you to spread this cost out over time with more manageable monthly payments, making the investment more accessible. And when it comes to improving performance in cold temperatures, advanced technology is now our ally. Modern cold climate heat pumps are designed to operate efficiently, even in frigid temperatures, ensuring your building is always going to stay comfortable, even when it's icy outside. And if it gets exceptionally cold, supplemental heating can be your backup. Kicking in to keep the warmth consistent without overwhelming your heat pump system. And lastly, addressing electrical upgrades can optimize your system's performance. System assessments by a professional can help to identify any necessary upgrades to your electrical system, ensuring it can handle the heat pump's demands. Additionally, energy efficiency improvements around your building, like better insulation, energy efficiency windows, can reduce the overall load on your heat pump system, making it more efficient and saving on those electric bills. So while there are challenges again to adopting a heat pump system, there's also practical solutions to help address them. And by leveraging again incentives and embracing advanced technology, you know, you can enjoy the benefits of a heat pump system with greater ease and efficiency. Now, to reduce equipment loads, one area of a building that can be focused on is the kitchen. Again, now there are some challenges with that, and those are listed here. Unfamiliarity, first cost, maintenance availability. But again, there maybe the benefits outweigh the challenges. You know, faster cook times, precise controls. I was at a demonstration in Sacramento showing this. Very precise. You get a cooler kitchen, improved air quality, potential for reduced ventilations, etc. So there are numerous benefits to it as well. Can look at high efficiency elevators. Elevator usage can account for about 10% of a building's total energy use, believe it or not, possibly more during the peak times of the day. You know, to make elevators more efficient, maybe we look at regenerative drives, obviously energy efficient motors, smart elevator controls, standby mode, LED lighting, etc. To estimate energy consumption and classify the energy efficiency of elevators, the rating system accounts for many different factors, and the rating system starts at G and goes all the way up to most efficient rating of A. There's also advanced controls. You know, we're really looking at strategies across the three main areas. You know, on the HVAC side, building automation systems and smart thermostats help ensure heating and cooling only run when they're needed. Again, helping with that duct curve we mentioned earlier. Demand controlled ventilation adjusts outside air based on occupancy. Improved air quality while cutting waste. For lighting, occupancy and daylight sensors help to reduce unnecessary energy by turning off lights when spaces aren't being used, or dimming when natural light is available. And then finally, monitoring and verification tools like say dashboards and sub-meters help to give building operators that look into those real-time insights. Together, these strategies help to optimize both energy use, they reduce waste, and provide the data needed to help back up those savings. So far, we've looked at why energy efficiency is important for cities and the strategies that can help reduce energy use and carbon emissions. Next, we'll focus on some practical approaches for cities to move forward. How to make take these ideas and translate them into action for their buildings and their communities. So effective planning starts with defining clear goals, whether that's reducing carbon, lowering your energy costs, or improving resiliency. Once goals are set, it's important to understand the baseline, the building stock, operations, and context, and evaluating strategies through energy modeling or comparative analysis helps cities see which measures are most effective. Prioritizing ensures that the most impactful actions are the ones that are addressed first. Typically, energy efficiency measures followed by electrification or renewable energy. Finally, committing to that implementation through policy, funding, or partnerships helps ensure that that actual planning is going to lead to real results. So a key tool for evaluating strategies is that comparative analysis. This method integrates building geometry, operations, weather, code requirements to help model for different options. The results show what we call predictive energy use, carbon impact, and performance across various scenarios. This comparative analysis helps cities to make informed decisions, helps to highlight, again, what measures are cost effective, have the highest ROI, are feasible, can maybe provide the greatest overall benefit before committing to those resources. It again essentially bridges the gap between planning and action. Now, this slide shows how cities can extend their influence beyond their municipal buildings by leading by example, offering financial incentives, providing that technical assistance, using policy tools and conducting education and outreach. Cities can empower their residents and businesses, developers to invest in efficiency and decarbonization. In fact, one example of this, we have made many cities aware of our program, and they're now starting to pitch it to developers that come to their planning departments, and making them aware of this complementary program that is available to them. I think Berkeley now has this on their website, in fact. So CETA, again, can help to reduce those upfront costs and guide projects toward energy efficiency strategies. Again, these approaches help to scale impact across the whole community, ensuring that energy savings and carbon reductions, as mentioned, aren't limited to city-owned facilities. So again, we mentioned the Piedmont Pool case study project. We're going to dive into that now and how it's beneficial for communities, and plus some energy efficiency upgrades to consider. Again, this is a real life public project that basically it embodies the Build Back Better phrase. So again, the Piedmont Community Pool was a new construction project in Piedmont, California, spanning about 7,300 square feet, and the construction budget included, a competition and recreation pool, a pool building, a rooftop deck, some site amenities. They wanted to go all electric, so it was pool electrification. There was some offsite improvements, and then of course we helped to the project helped to improve the site security as well. So why replace the former pool? The original pool was in fact a central part of the community for over 50 years, but had obviously reached the end of its usable life. Was a major energy consumer. 75% of all the natural gas used in any city facilities went towards heating the old pool. So this high energy demand made it very inefficient, and of course, with that inefficiency, very costly to operate. So, why this project managers? So the new aquatic center isn't just a replacement; it's a model for sustainability. As California's second all-electric pool, it demonstrates how public facilities can in fact transition away from fossil fuels. The project, it set a precedence for how cities are looking to modernize their recreational facilities while reducing carbon emissions, and oh, by the way, reducing long-term energy costs. So Piedmont has been committed to climate action for over a decade, adopting its first climate action plan back in 2010. The latest update sets ambitious yet necessary targets by trying to cut greenhouse gases emissions by 50% by 2030, and trying to achieve carbon neutrality by the year 2045. The climate action plan provides them a roadmap for not only their city, but for businesses and residents to reduce fossil fuel reliance, improving energy efficiency, and adopting electrifying their buildings, and implementing those key strategies that align with this pool project. So by making the facility fully electric, Piedmont is not only reducing emissions, but it's also leading the way for other future public projects. The pool turns sustainability goals into actual real world infrastructure that benefits both the environment and the community. So beyond emission reductions, this project, it prioritized air quality, health, and equity, ensuring access to a very modern, sustainable space, but while also keeping that ever important long-term operational cost low for the city. So one of the biggest challenges was the facility size, twice the water area of the old pool. Traditional gas heated system would have increased the greenhouse gas emissions by 1.5 times, which again wasn't an option for the city that's committed to decarbonization. So instead, the city, did in fact prioritize full electrification. The two pools responsible for 80% of the facility's total energy use are heated entirely by a high efficient electric heat pump system, thus eliminating that fossil fuel dependence and cutting that ever important carbon emissions down to zero. They also integrated solar PVT and PV panels into the pool's design to help offset the facility's energy demand. Again, great project. Here are some of the challenges faced during this project and the solutions that made it a success. Every large-scale project obviously comes with obstacles, and this was no exception. The scale of the project, which required substantial financial investment, technical challenges, particularly in ensuring the feasibility of an all-electric facility, community engagement, and the effort needed to try to secure that public support. And then, as with every project, those unforeseen costs, such as, inflation and, as we all know, rising construction expenses. So to overcome these challenges, several key solutions were implemented. So instead of focusing only on the upfront costs, the team evaluated the long-term benefits, ensuring a cost-effective solution over time. Early energy modeling helped validate the all-electric approach, showing that high efficiency heat pump systems could in fact meet the performance needs while still maintaining those sustainability goals. And again, this is in fact a free service through the CETA program. They also, by engaging the public early and consistently, it helped build trust and ensure that the project moved forward smoothly. And then by remaining flexible, the team was able to navigate those unexpected expenses while still meeting their sustainability and budget goals. So now, trying to wrap this up by looking at the key outcomes and impacts of this initiative. What does this project really mean in terms of the impact? So the facility's all-electric design leads to very significant energy savings, reduced emissions, and valuable financial incentives. So instead of diving into the raw numbers, let's break these results down to a more digestible metric so we can really understand the scale of these benefits. As mentioned, the facility is fully electric, eliminating all fossil fuel entirely. Despite higher upfront costs, the project's actually going to save 1.8 million in costs over 25 years, proving financial viability. Solar PVT and PV were integrated to potentially offset 25% of the energy demand. And again, this facility now serves as a model for some of their future projects and for other municipalities aiming to try to decarbonize their public infrastructure. So by eliminating fossil fuels, improves local air quality, creates healthier environment, especially important for youth, seniors, vulnerable populations. The community benefits from a modern, efficient facility, ensuring equitable access to public infrastructure while lowering that long-term operational costs. We have a lot of developers who focus purely on the upfront cost without looking at the long-term benefits, and the CETA program will definitely help to highlight those long-term gains. This project also aligns directly with their climate action plan, helping the city to meet their goals. Lessons learned here can be applied to other cities looking to scale up electrification and trying to achieve their sustainability goals. And real quick, let's look at some conclusions and takeaways. So although although energy efficiency upgrades might pose a bit of a daunting application, there are many reasons that they are important to consider, whether it's creating that cleaner, more resilient city, saving cities money by lowering the energy costs, or implementing efficiency measures to help meet the new state standards or local sustainability goals. Real world projects are already implementing these efficiency measures, such as the Piedmont case, and they're going to support sustainable infrastructure that benefits all of us. So with that concludes our presentation. Would gladly open it up for any questions, comments. Again, it's an important goal we have in trying to electrify and bring. California is already actually compared to other states very sustainable and well ahead of the curve. So some of the things we're doing here compared to what I see in other states, obviously it's well ahead of the curve, but there's still a long way to go. And electrifying is going to hopefully get us there.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. I'm sure that people are virtually clapping. And so I would like to let folks know that if you have questions, you are welcome at this point to use a raise hand function. I will note that we are recording. And this recording will be made available, including the Q&A portion on our website. You may also use the chat function as well as the Q&A function. I'll also note that the slide deck will also be made available on the event landing page, and we'll send out to folks who registered information about that. So I'll just share a couple of reflections that I think about, Jeff, and we can have a little bit of a dialogue. So definitely something that I think about is, in the long term, there's a substantial opportunity for cost savings related to these energy efficiency features. So not setting aside regulation. However, it feels in many cases cost prohibitive to make those initial investments up front, especially as we're talking about you are renovating older buildings or rebuilding after disaster or preparing for that, right? So you're already thinking about the total cost. I would just like to provide an opportunity for you to really underscore, yes, these can be substantial up costs, but if you just want to kind of repeat, what that sort of, funding rebate, what those opportunities are, and a little bit about the timing. I know you've talked a little bit about that, but just highlighting that.
Yeah, and Burnett, to your point, when we get a project into the program, and let it be known, we have about, I want to say, close to 1,200 projects in the program right now, and that is something that comes up, definitely. I mean, everybody has budgets. That's a reality of the world we live in, especially now with construction costs, tariffs, supply. I mean, it's a inevitable burden on those looking to renovate, build new. So we do make a conscious effort to highlight the measures that we're looking at, but we're also going to dive into the return on those measures. I'll be honest, some measures don't make sense financially. They just don't. And we're not, we're going to help guide that developer, that owner, that on those decisions. Again, maybe installing R20 insulation doesn't have the best payback. We might say, hey, for your budget, let's forego that. Yes, does that go against what we're preaching with the program? But budgets are reality, and we're gonna our goal. We're trying to get the maximum sustainable building for what the budget can allow. And by throwing out these utility incentives, that's going to reduce that burden a little bit, right? It doesn't cover it all, but it helps a little bit. But also, we're going to highlight what does that mean long term? A lot of developers, they get laser focused, or owners, on that initial incentive. It's like they might say that's less than what we expected. That might be true, but let's take a look at the annual utility save that you're going to achieve over a 25-year lifespan of the building. That's where the real savings start to add up. So we help to identify where it makes sense on a return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was sharing with you as you were doing preparation. So I was an affordable housing developer, and these are all, as you know, you've worked for owners as well. So I think about a couple things. The first is these opportunities are available for properties in the catchment areas of investor-owned utilities. But I want to note that the vast majority of California's population are located in IOU territories. So that, again, chances are that folks who are attending probably already know this, but it's good to know that it's a vast population and a very large geography. In addition to that, I think it's important to really highlight that the lessons learned in partnering with you about what programs are available and which features, are feasible. Again, thinking about the cost benefit analysis, again, having been a developer, you may be able to replicate some of these savings in across the areas that you are serving. So I just wanted to highlight that. And I don't know if you
Yep.
have any experience with that sort of, replicability, like, okay, now that we understand that we're using your case study pools, you can use those lessons in other areas. So I don't know if you want to talk about, any experience you have with
Yes.
replicability.
1,000%. We'll be in, we'll be in meetings with mechanical engineers and, very bright people, right? And passionate about this movement. And we'll come across a new technology that a mechanical engineer might be utilizing. Yes, we're going to take that to another project. Say, hey, in XYZ building on Smith Avenue, they're using, these type of heat pumps. Maybe we should consider that for this type of project. And I'll also mention, we do represent the IOUs of California. Again, PG&E, SoCal Edison, San Diego Gas and Electric, and SoCal Gas. If you're not in one of those IOUs, definitely check with your utility provider. They also may have the same type of program that you could take advantage of. So just like, for example, LADWP, that's not one of our utilities, but they do have a new construction program. Definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, really good advice. So we have a question in the chat, and again, I'll encourage people if they have questions in chat or the Q&A. For those who are tuning in, I can't see the chat. Um, uh, Someone writes, you mentioned the PACE funding earlier. Can you explain what it is and how it can help finance energy efficiency measures?
Yeah, PACE, I'm going to give the very high level. We do have a PACE expert on our team. In fact, he's wrote a novel on it. It's available on Amazon. So PACE is an alternate funding mechanism as part of the capital stack that funds energy efficiency measures. And it actually, it's no money down, and it actually stays with the building. It's not on your balance sheet. It stays with the property as a tax assessment. So it's a very creative, inexpensive way to fund energy efficiency measures. We see it's very popular in the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest. I think it's available here in California as well. But yes, a great alternate method of how to fund some of these energy efficiency measures. Again, no money down, stays with the property. So if the owner sells the property, that expense they don't have to pay it off. It stays with the building.
Yeah.
No, on the opposite side of that, the buyer of the building has to know that financing comes with the building. So
Yes, and which one would expect as they're doing their appropriate due diligence.
right.
So I also see, Jeff, is there anything that you've encountered that was surprising for you? Because again, there's a lot of around this that is intuitive, right? Of course, if you have a newer, more energy efficient system, there's going to be cost savings. But I don't know if there's any particular innovations or case studies where you found something that even surprised you working in this field.
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I hate to do this. I may ask Andriana that question.
Yeah.
She tends to deal more with the project teams and projects. I've been a little bit removed from working on
I'd love
projects.
to hear from her too. She probably has some really good insights.
Sorry, Andriana, I'll put you on the spot.
No problem. So this is about specifically for project teams.
Just
Um,
something that surprised you in doing this
oh,
work. So for example, some things are very for example, we just installed a new HVAC unit, a high energy efficiency one in my home. And of course, we were expecting, it's a significant investment, but significant cost savings. Some things may be surprising. For example, the how much you are saving, or an innovation that is new to you. So, as someone who's worked really directly with clients, anything that you found surprising, or that maybe they found surprising.
yeah, I think sometimes teams can be surprised about, I guess, where their energy savings are coming from. So, for example, for multifamily buildings, a big part of their savings is coming from the domestic hot water. So, central heat pump water heaters are a really big measure. They have really good savings, good incentives that are tied to it as well. But really, like the main benefit is going to be those long-term savings.
Bernadette, I'll mention this doesn't
Yeah.
relate to one of my biggest surprises is how many individuals don't believe the program, they believe it's too good to be true.
Yes.
We are literally trying to give away funds to
Yes.
help implement energy efficiency. There's no catch. It is a complementary program. Your utilities are mandated
Hmm.
in a various way to try to keep demand down. So it is more prevalent for them to issue incentives to try to keep that demand down than to invest in and be penalized for larger infrastructure and more generation. So my surprise over the year is how many people just say, now there's a catch. We're not going to participate because there's some sort of, in reality, there's no catch. So
Yeah, no,
that's
absolutely.
that's what my team spends most of their day trying to convince people. We are literally trying to give you funds to implement energy efficiency.
Well, that's what they tell you. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So
I know, I
it's
know.
but the benefit is, grid stability, energy efficiency. There's a variety of incentives, also regulatory. So yes. Well, I'll just share one additional anecdote also related to our HVAC unit. So again, I'm sorry, related to what you were just saying a moment ago. That was
Uh,
our biggest use in our home was hot water heating. I have two teenagers and I cannot get them out of the shower. Do with that as you will. That is something outside of my control. But joking aside, one of the reasons I bring that up is because we can't necessarily control consumer behavior. If you're a homeowner, yes, I theoretically, as a homeowner, could control the hot water usage of my teenagers. We all know that's probably not realistic. However, if you are a property owner and you have tenants, the consumer behavior is not necessarily something that you have a lot of control over. But the innovations that you are talking about, the opportunity that you're talking about, really are something that can be focused on as a property owner manager that is within your control. So I don't know if either of
Yes.
you want to, have any final thoughts on in working with your clients. So talk a little bit about who your clients are and maybe any benefits that they have expressed.
Andriani, any thoughts there?
Um, I think one of the biggest benefits of the program is just helping people navigate through these decisions. There's so many different technologies. And it's very difficult to kind of take it all in and organize it. So we kind of take that work and put it together in a report and present it in a way that is, hopefully easy to understand and helps the design team make important decisions for their projects.
Yeah, that's a really good insight. So we are basically at time. So Jeff, final words. So any final remarks for folks?
Yeah, great. Again, appreciate the us presenting to the group today and allowing us. It's an important topic. And again, this is a resource that we all represent at Wildan that's available to you. Take advantage of it. I actually, in full disclosure, we as Californians, we've already paid into it through our utility bill. So
Mhm.
it isn't, I guess it isn't free. We've paid into it already,
Correct.
but you might as well take advantage of the money since it's there. So I guess that's my overwhelming leave you with statement. And if cities are on the call, you'll bring this to your developers that come to
Yes.
your planning departments. Let them know if you're not planning in any new projects or buildings, help us spread the word. And because we are desperate to get rid of these funds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really insightful. So thank you all for coming. My final remarks are, as we've noted, this presentation and the recording are going to be made available on our webinar, and then we'll touch bases with our experts today to make sure that if there's any direct links or documents that might be helpful, we'll also make sure that those are easily accessible on the landing page. So thank you all so much, and please join us for our next session. We have, I believe, one on the 21st and on the 28th of October. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.